So we're here in the Stratamax Games booth, and again, we've traveled halfway across the world to find our neighbor, Max Michael here, fellow Hoosier, Indianapolis resident, and we have a new game to talk about, Sheepdogs of Pendleton Hill. We've actually had a chance, we kind of saw this actually before it was in this final form, and I had no idea that the wooden bits were going to be so enormous when we were playing the game at a bar back in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
We're going to learn all about the game here and maybe talk a little bit about the journey this game has gone through to make it here to Essen.
Yeah, it's gone a ways. It's actually a design that I started about 7 years ago. I got the idea, I just dumped out a bunch of bits. I like games where the bits stack, and had a chance to stack some different colored checkers together. I said, well, that's interesting, what if everyone could move that? So worked out a game mechanic on that, and then it just kind of sat there for 7 years. And had kind of a bit of a journey, but ended up back with me, and gave it to some play testers, and they're cruel and heartless, and made it much better. So we said, okay, it's good enough now. We can actually produce a game for this.
So maybe tell us a little bit about the age range and the mechanics of this game, because on the surface, it's a very simple game in terms of knowing the actions and knowing what your options are on a given turn, but how you implement those things, there might be a little bit more to it than meets the eye, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. You're only going to take one or two actions a turn. One of those actions, if you play the one card, is for any color. So you can put any sheep in a pen, you can move a flock of any color, or you can play a shepherd on the board if your own or somebody else's. Well, why would I want to play one of your shepherds? Well, because when your sheep meet the shepherd, then you get as many points as they are on the hill. And the higher the sheep go, the more points they'll get.
Right.
So I will help you and put one of your shepherds there so you can score a point.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, because we can't have you scoring 5 or 7, can we?
We wouldn't want that at all.
Yeah, but this is for any color, so you can do something for yourself as well. So you have to choose. Is it better for me to do something for myself, or do something for or to you?
Or against Steven.
Or against Steven. Or me against Steven. Because the sheep always move up or sideways. They can't move down.
Okay.
Right. And the 1+1 card is the selfish card. One thing only for me, so it can only be me, so I can't move a flock that has other sheep in it than my own, right? But I can move a flock that has everybody else's sheep in it, right? And I can put one shepherd on the board for me, or one sheep in a pen for me, and then I do something for someone else, like put their shepherd down at the end, or move a flock that I don't have any sheep in. If I'm red, and this flock is here, then I can move a flock that doesn't have my sheep in it. I'm doing something for someone else. It's not me involved. So I can move that sideways, and your shepherd and sheep come off the board and you score 1 point. Thank you very much. That's nice, yeah. Or if I'm really nasty, I move it to the wolf. Now the wolf will scare one sheep down the hill. Now you can use your license for what really happens, but it's a family show. We don't want to scare the children, so it frightens one sheep off the hill when you encounter the wolf.
Yes, yes.
So the +1 is to or for someone else. Okay. And then the 2 card is 2 actions. It must involve your sheep. So you can move a flock, but it has to have your sheep in it the entire journey. Okay. So if I'm yellow, and we're here, we move 1, I have to make this match, and now I still have a sheep in it, so I can move 2, and I get my 3 points there. But why would I do that? Because I'm getting yours closer to the higher ones. Yeah. So I'd be careful about how to use that as well. So 1 or 2 actions, but for your color, for any color, just for you, just for someone else. And positioning on the board is bit subtle and important to watch what you're doing.
I like that forced cooperation element with the 1+1 card especially, or even the rainbow one.
Yeah, even the rainbow one. And so we actually, if we want to play nice, we do have a partnership here. So in a way, we have an incentive. We have an incentive to help each other move up, and get all the points there are to be had.
Of course, everybody else is going to be sending the wolf
or moving us sideways, right. Or yeah. So it's very rare for all the sheep to make it to the top of the hill.
Now, it's obviously a game that you could play with families, but it has that sort of gamerly mindset too that you're talking about in terms of that. There's an extra layer of strategy that you could sort of apply to it if you are have that more gamerly mindset. So it feels like it has a foot in both camps, I would say.
I think so. We think it's very approachable because it's only one action or two actions.
Right.
The actions are very simple. Place a shepherd, place a sheep, move the wolf. There's only 4 things to be done. So the choices are limited. But how you use those limited choices and the timing is difficult to get there. So very approachable to play, but better gamers are going to win.
Now I have to ask, what's the story on the gigantic shepherds? Because that seems like that's happened since our last conversation. They feed them well, to get that tall. I want to learn more about these gigantic wooden men and sheep here.
Well, we simply, the manufacturer simply had them available. I asked, are these available? Thinking, there's no way. And they said yes. And I said, well, now I have to have them. And I was real pleased because the artist, even on the cover of the box, has the same hat on that shepherd.
Excellent.
So it's like, well, this is all working out too well. Since he's already got the hat there, I've got to have this meal. I just got to have it.
That was totally just a happy accident then?
Yeah. It's like there's no way they will have these, And a friend of mine said, well, just ask. It's just an email. I'm like, okay. And it's like, oh yes, we can do that. It's like, darn, that's going to cost a lot, but I have to have them now. So yeah, they work real well. It was actually a challenge for the artist to figure out the footprint. How big do we need to make the pastures?
Yes.
And then how big does the board have to be for it all to fit?
So the sheep don't get lost.
The sheep don't get lost. Yeah, but with colors being the differentiating thing, a lot of color makes it easier to read the board. If they were tiny, it would be difficult to read the board. And color is so important in this game for who's what color and are they ahead? Are they in position to get their blue sheep up high on the mountain? So that extra sort of space and surface area really helps. Plus, they're just cool.
I
gotta say they're
very,
just cool.
in terms of visually striking and just sheer size alone, you get some.
We may be. I need to trademark, I think, the term woofle.
Woofle, yes.
Woofles. We have sheeples, meeples, and woofles. We're going that way.
Patent pending.
Yes, right.
Now this game is available, of course, now. We can see the stacks behind us here. But unlike some other previous releases, this game is going to have a wider availability perhaps down the road. It looks like maybe more people around the world may be able to get this one. Is that true?
I think so. We're currently working on, here at the fair, how do we get these to the U.S.?
Okay.
And while we're at the fair, we're certainly selling, boxes or cases of them to retailers throughout Europe. So that's the place to get them if you're in Europe, is through your retails that have come to the show, and they have them available.
They're going to be filtering out to game stores.
Right. I hope so. We have several filter out different game stores. So I want them available in Europe as much as possible.
Yes.
But the logistics of, do they all need to go in one box and off to the States? And how's that going to work out? I'm not quite so sure. So we'll know Sunday. Where they're all going to end up. But
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it would be really nice to see some of these games that are Hoosier grown make it back to Hoosier game stores sometime soon, because they are such nice games, and I think there's certainly people on the other side of the planet that would think so too.
With the small run and the production costs, as you see here, it's going to be very difficult to put them through the distribution chains.
Yes.
So we'll probably likely just be selling them off our website.
Okay.
And that'll be the way to get it. If they get across the ocean, when they get across the ocean.
Excellent.
Of course, if we sell out, then oh darn.
We can deal with that.
We'll deal with that problem later.
That hardship. So before we wrap up here, are there any previous upcoming attractions that you can give us for things down the line for Stratamax Games?
I was hoping for another meaty game from Doug Eckhart, author of Tammany Hall.
Yes.
But he has just started his own company. So I don't know how much time I'll be able to wring out of him.
Right.
But that one's the one farthest down the pipeline.
Okay.
Aaron has a couple of ideas as well. So we'll see how that works. And then I've got one on the back burner too. So since I went last, turn order, I should be first next time again, because we did Aaron's Days of Steam and Let's Take a Hike, and we've done Tammany Hall from Doug. We finally put the Max back in Stratamax, so I don't have to change the name to Strata Aaron Doug. So with all of our letterheads, that would just been horrible.
Yeah.
So maybe since in turn order, since I went last, maybe I'll get to go first this time around. So
if your name's on the company, I think you get 2 votes instead of 1.
Yeah,
you get
but
the tiebreaker.
maybe. It depends. There's two of them. Aaron knows Taekwondo, so he might win after all.
Yeah. Well, we always enjoy catching up with you, even if it is halfway across the world.
Across the world before we can see each other and say hi.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pleasure always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.